Jakarta is a huge city. If you're in the middle of the city, it's you. I didn't really feel like I was in Indonesia necessarily, or what you would picture as Indonesia. Skyscrapers everywhere, huge malls, and it's generally kept very, very clean in the middle of the city, in the downtown area. Everyone there is, relatively well off, generally speaking. So yeah, it's probably a typical big city, very, very crowded. The biggest mode of transportation in Jakarta is called busway. It's, I guess, the equivalent of the subway in New York, though I've never been there. It's just a bus that it has its own lane on the side of the roads, and it has its routes. You can pretty much get at least pretty close to anywhere you want to go with busway. So you'll just go on, you pay, I don't even remember, maybe like 5,000 rupiah. The currency in Indonesian is called rupiah, R-U-P-I-A-H. So you'll pay a little bit of money, and then you can ride the busway as far as you need to go. And I've seen like videos in Japan where they're literally like pushing people, shoving people into the bus. It's kind of like that. There's seats lining the edges, and then there's handles on the ceiling so you can hold on, and it's just packed full of people, just crazy packed. It's hot. I didn't find it the best place to be contacting people, just because it's kind of awkward for them because no one's really talking. They don't really talk that much to each other because, well, I don't know why actually, but it's very packed, full of people, and you just ride it wherever. Additionally, you can take taxis, though that's usually for special purposes because they're more expensive, far more expensive. And Jakarta, for employment, I'm sure there's everything. There's construction, there's a lot of banks, hotels, massive malls, a lot of people selling food on their little carts. They're just self-employed. They cook their own stuff and then go around town selling it to whoever. The other mode of transportation would be what's called an angkot. It's kind of, the way I explain it, it's kind of like a Volkswagen hippie van with one of the doors on the side just ripped off or opened. So you can go inside, and then there's two benches along the walls of the car, and then there's the driver's seat and the passenger seat, and those also have designated routes that they go to. So on the top there'll be either a number or color or whatever that lets you know where it's going to be going. So you get on. Angkots are a good place for contacting people. There's usually between like 5 and 10 or 11 people inside, and you're not in the city. You're out more in the neighborhoods and the villages, so where people are going to be living and not working. So you'll ride an angkot, and when you see where you want to get off, you'll either tap on the roof or you'll say kiri, which means left, and they'll just pull over right there. You'll hop out, and then you pay the driver. And this is actually one tip. Obviously your companion will tell you when you get there, but if you can, always pay the driver with the exact amount, because if you give them extra, sometimes they'll just take off without giving you any change, which is annoying. Sometimes they'll argue with you because you're a foreigner. They'll tell you it's more than it actually is, even though you've been riding that same angkot for a couple months. So you just kind of have to stick up for yourself. When you lean in to give them the money, I always kind of leaned in and then put like my upper body through the window so that he couldn't just take off without dragging me along, Yeah, just get comfortable with people. You're going to be squished in there. I mean, I'm 6'4". I remember when I got assigned to my first area, I knew it was an angkot area. Some areas we use bikes, which I loved. But some areas where the angkots are available, you'll ride those and not have the bikes. And the assistant called me or this is my second area. So my first area, I was in a biking area and I loved it. And then he called me and told me I was going to an area where they rode oncoats, and I was like, Elder, I can't I can't fit in oncoats. I'm too big. But obviously that didn't stop me from going there. But yeah, it's fun. You'll smash in there and people will laugh at you with your knees up to your neck, and you'll just talk to them. And it's actually, oncoats are a good place for contacting people. And then, yeah, the other transportation would be bikes. So you've got busway in Jakarta, oncoats in the kind of the outlying areas, and then in some areas you'll have bikes. So those are the three main ways of transportation.